Wow.
Okay, guys, just doing my usual test of the stream just to make sure we're good. So if everybody wants to sound off, just say something random.
Hello,
Something
my name
random.
is Case. I am sound enough.
I have sound. Or something
Yo.
like that. Yeah.
Ty,
Okay,
say
guys,
something. Just doing my usual test of the stream just
Something
to make
random.
sure we're good. So if everybody wants to sound off,
Oh, wait. Sorry. Ignore that.
just say something random.
Hello, my
Something
name
random.
is Case. I am sound enough.
I have sound. Or something
Yo.
like
Okay, all sounds good.
that.
Sounds
All
horrible
good.
when it's played back through.
Oh yeah, no, obviously, Ty, but say something. It's only because I was playing
Something
my stream.
random.
Everybody stop your
that's right.
streams.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
If you have the
Ignore
stream, yeah, if you have the stream playing, just mute it.
Hello, my
Something
name
random.
is Case. I am sound
Oh, it's
enough.
me. Okay, sorry. Fucking hell. It's on the bloody...
Dave.
Because I forgot I had the forum open. Yeah, my bad. Putting out another quick tweet. And I should let the Skype chat know that we're live as well. That's not what I want to paste.
Oh, this in right now. Miiverse is getting its redesign on the 30th.
30th. Cool.
Yeah,
Of July.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 29th, but it'll be the 30th for us.
We'll repeat that later in the stream just to make sure any listeners get that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're live. Hey, I'm Dave, and joining me, as always, is Ty for our weekly Aussie Castle newscast.
Hey, guys.
And also with us tonight, we've got JP and Case.
Hey,
Hi.
Smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so let's get stuck into our news for the week. I don't think it's been a very, what's the word? It hasn't been too
Eventful.
eventful. That's a good word. It hasn't been very eventful this week with our news, but we've picked apart as much as we can to cover. So we're going to start with
We're all still in an after E3 haze.
yeah, true. That is true. Even though it's been more than a month now, and it still feels like we're in that post E3 phase. Anyway, our first topic is Pokken Tournament. I'll get a trailer up in a minute for the stream, but Pokken Tournament has launched in Japan, so that's just in Japanese arcades, and they've revealed Blaziken as a playable fighter for the launch, and they've also said that they will be bringing more Pokemon fighters to the game over time. What are you guys' thoughts on this? How are you liking the look of Pokken Tournament? And also, are you hoping for a console release? And would you buy it? Someone go first.
Well, that's a lot of questions there, Dave.
Sorry.
I think the looks of it are pretty cool, but I mean that's what we've come to expect from arcade games. That gone are the days where arcades. Well, then again, arcades have always been, sort of a little bit more visually graphic than consoles, haven't they? Because they need to have street appeal for walkers by, and that kind of stuff. In terms of a home console version, I don't know. From what I've seen of it, and I'll admit I haven't seen a lot of it, but from what I've seen of it, it doesn't to me personally doesn't look compelling enough to want to sort of camp out in front of EB Games for a midnight launch or anything like that. But as far as fighting games go, it looks kind of cool. But JP, you like hitting furry animals in the face more than the next guy. Is this something that appeals to you?
To be honest, I had more fun beating up Pikachu with my Sonic on Smash Brothers than I would with this. At first sight, this looked kind of cool, but now I've kind of fallen out of the loop and I've just lost interest altogether. I don't really care. If I see it in Australia, I'll probably just play it to see what it's about. But yeah, other than that, I don't really care anymore.
Have you seen the launch trailer, JP? This is my first time seeing it, but it actually makes me really want to play it now.
I think it looks really good. I don't know about the gameplay style. I guess the only thing I could compare it to is kind of like that Naruto style fighting game is what it looks like.
Even though it's meant to be Tekken.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where that influence is, but it seems more like Naruto style. That said, I mean, I really like the look of it. I don't know if it's my type of game. It's one of those ones I really need to get my hands on. I wouldn't buy it just because it's Pokemon, but you know, if I got the chance to play it at a friend's or in the store, I would give it a fair go. I would love, like, if I was in Japan, I would definitely just go to the arcade and I'd probably give it a few. I think it's a definite sort of appeal as an arcade game for sure.
I'm pretty sure there'll be a big line or you won't get a chance. Looking at the trailer, it does look good, but yeah, I'm just not sure if I could be into this. Yeah.
I think if they want to bring it out overseas, it's going to have to go on consoles. But you know what? I was just thinking, like, Nintendo are, trying to get into the mobile space, and it's an interesting way to sort of test run the free-to-start / free-to-pay, free-to-play model.
Free to play.
Yeah. Before they sort of, kick off with the mobiles, I guess, if that's what they want to do, because, arcades are, by design, something that you drop your coins into, so maybe they can do something similar, just in terms of unlocking characters or whatever, on the Wii U or something. But what I also find exciting about it is it's sort of... Do you guys remember the Triforce arcade system board that sort of came out in the Nintendo GameCube days and brought along with it games like F-Zero AX?
I mean, I'm aware of it. I've never really got a good play.
By the awkward silence. Yeah, it's like Namco, Sega, and Nintendo came together to make the Triforce arcade board.
Yeah, there was only one game.
Actually, there was a few games on it.
Really?
None that you probably know. Mario Kart Arcade was another one.
I guess that's part of it.
There's a couple of Donkey Kong ones from memory. And
Has anyone
Virtua
played
Striker.
the latest Mario Kart arcade game at all? I don't know if it's anywhere in Australia, but it was really good when I was in Japan about, pretty much a year ago.
Was it the number 2 one? Or is it
I'm not too sure what it was titled. It was brand spanking new, I guess, or maybe it was a little bit old in Japan. But I think there's 1 or 2 that came before arcade versions.
I think Mario Kart Arcade GP2 came out in 2007. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I played that one a few times. That's still in Hornsby, I think, actually. Yeah, I'll need to double check that.
Yeah, but anyway, it's interesting to see the collaboration going on with Bandai Namco and Nintendo.
I guess it's interesting to note that it's just rumored at this stage, but people are speculating that it's coming to arcades in North America. I didn't even know there were any really big arcades in North America. Like, we know arcades are big in Japan, but North America, I would more expect it to get a console release than an arcade release in North America. And same goes for Australia.
Very risky, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there much point bringing out in Australia, like an arcade version? I don't know. Like,
how many arcades are there in Australia? I don't know of any around here.
I know of a couple in, maybe one in Sydney.
Yeah, like a pure arcade. Maybe you get there's little ones at the shopping malls, but they're really have very dated dated arcade games. So the Mario Kart one, I was thinking, was Mario Kart Arcade DX, and that came out in 2013 in Japan, 2014 in US apparently.
Oh, so that's pretty recent.
Yeah, it was very good. Had a little drum guy from that Japanese drumming game, which was a funny little character to have.
Cool. Speaking of recent developments, those who are trying to catch them all can grab Dazzling Diancie on the Nintendo Network from today or tomorrow in Australia.
I think it's already live, from this morning.
It's already live. Well, get on it. Now, JP, this is probably a question for you. Like, do we know the difference between Dazzling Diancie and a regular non-Dazzling Diancie?
I don't think
What
it is a
the hell
question.
is Dazzling Diancie?
Yeah, it's not a question for JP.
Sorry, I have no idea. I'm gonna Google that right now.
So I usually know my Pokemon stuff pretty well.
Eating up your animals.
I usually know my Pokemon stuff pretty well, but I'm not even in the loop with Dazzling Diancie. It looks to be. I'm just looking it up now. It looks to be a new form where it goes from being this like crystal rock Pokemon thing into more of. It almost looks like a chandelier.
That's interesting.
I'm going to put a picture up on the stream now in a sec. Once I
If you've got anyone who's actually watching this, please call us out.
Guys.
Yeah, tell us we're wrong if we're wrong.
So I Google searched Dazzling Diancie, and Diane Kruger came up as one of the pictures.
Okay.
It could just be that the word dazzling is used as sort of like a marketing term and not actually.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
it's Dazzling Diane Kruger.
Diancie has a Mega Evolution. Is that just the Dazzling one? Is that why it's so important to get?
Okay, I think the
I
word
think that's
dazzling.
what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Diane's dazzling deals. Oh god. Google, I love you.
JP is so easily
Well,
amused.
anyway, maybe it's just a Diancie distribution, and the word dazzling is just redundant. And but it doesn't come with the stone to Mega Evolve, does it? You have to get that some other way.
Well, how do you get it then? I don't think
No,
I've
it
got
says as soon as the player receives Diancie in their game, special distribution Pokemon will become equipped with the Mega Stone,
Oh, okay.
Diancite Mega Stone, and allow it to Mega Evolve. Yeah.
Cool. There's a picture up on the stream now for our viewers, so you can quickly have a look at what we're talking about. But I guess we can move on to our next topic, in case any of you really want to keep pretending that we know everything about Diancie.
I could not stop talking about this if you let me. But anyway.
I don't even know why it's on our rundown.
Okay, still on the subject of Pokemon, so we're jam-packed with Pokemon this week. There's a teaser at the end of the latest Pokemon movie, which also just recently, I don't know whether it was like an advanced screening or something, it was in Japan, so only a few people have seen it, I think. And so at the end of the newest Pokemon XY movie, there's a teaser, and it shows this little bright green blob Pokemon that's got like one eye, and then it sort of comes out of the O in the Pokemon logo, and then it goes on to a little teaser for what's his name, Zygarde. So my question is it too soon for Gen 7?
It was too soon for Gen 2. I mean, I'm still stuck in the 151. No, that's it's hard for me to objectively say. Like, I turned 30 recently, so I feel like everything, like all the kids are gonna be like, yeah, whatever. But I'm very far behind all of the generations. I enjoyed Pokemon Y. It was the first one I played start to finish since Blue. I don't think it's necessarily too soon. I'd probably trust the opinion of a more diehard Pokemon fan, though.
Mm.
Well, okay, so there's 722, but I know a lot of people sort of say, "Oh, there's too many" or whatever. But the premise of the entire game is to just catch them all, right? So, I mean, if there was still only 150, the game would be pretty boring.
Yeah.
Well, it's never
Yeah.
too soon for another generation by Nintendo's eyes.
I mean, I don't know if Pokemon fans are really. I mean, is it that big a surprise? I mean, it's one of those things. You live, you die, you pay taxes, and there's more generations of Pokemon to come.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into it, but it just feels like the past couple of generations they're coming out a lot faster than they used to. There used to be a decent gap between generations, and I'm not saying like between generation 4 and 5 and 5 and 6 didn't feel like it was a big enough change that it was worthy of a new generation. I do think that. I just yeah, I don't know. I just don't want it to be overdone too quickly, and
Well, you can't blame the Pokemon for reproducing.
so you're saying this is?
Come on.
Are you saying this?
Can't when you lock them up together and force them to breed.
Well, JP, it's interesting you say
Yeah,
that
but if you
because
lock them up, they'll... I won't go there. I won't go there.
anyway,
There's one point that should be made though is the original Blue and Red and Green came out in 1996,
yep.
and then Gold and Silver, so Generation 2, came out in 1999. It was only 4 years before the second generation. So when was the latest generation launched?
XY was only, I reckon it was only 2 years ago, wasn't it? And then we had,
2013, probably.
yeah, and then we had the Ruby Sapphire remakes last year.
Well, to be fair, I mean, when did Blue and Red come? So Blue and Red came out in 1998, right? In like outside of Japan, was it?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like a 1 year in between. Oh well, Gold and Silver came out in 2000 in the West. So
So they've
I'm
always
pretty
been
sure.
pretty quick over
Yeah,
here.
they've always been pretty quick. They've always been pumping them out. So I think we can all relax and just
Yeah.
accept the inevitable fate that there will be 10,000 of these one day.
And chances are we probably won't see Gen 7 till late next year, if anything, because they usually do tease like 1 or 2 Pokemon to say that there's a new generation coming, and it doesn't actually come for a little while. So
I've
yeah,
got to say that I'm pretty surprised they're getting a. I mean, I'm looking at the different waves that they are still making original and distinctively different Pokemon after all these years. There are of course exceptions to that. I think the first time I saw Klefki, I just lost it, and I had to let one of my other friends who was playing Pokemon XY after a huge gap from Red Blue, and we thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean they've done pretty well. I mean, I don't know what they're doing to boost their creativity. I probably shouldn't suggest, but anyway, they're doing well.
well,
If we want to get into like rumor sort of speculation territory, next year would be like the 20th anniversary. So something good may come of that, including a new game, maybe a couple of movies, maybe a new series, maybe new T-shirts.
maybe they include Kanto as a second region in the game.
Maybe.
One can hope. Even though we already had that. But on Case's point, I think like the direction of the I've lost my words now. The direction of the Pokemon creation is what I'm most interested in, because I know a lot of people feel this way, that Generation 5, so that was Pokemon Black and White, they actually really surprised some people, because there was some really original Pokemon designs, probably some of the best that we've had, because looking at Gen 4, which, as Case pointed out, I think Klefki was from... Oh, hang on, Klefki is the latest generation. Anyway, yeah, people were disappointed with Gen 4. Gen 5 was a massive surprise. It was really good. And then the most recent gen, Pokemon XY, I don't know whether a lot of people felt this, but I felt that a lot of the Pokemon were sort of based off ones that we already had in the original generations. So it was very clear that you had your Rattata type Pokemon, or your Growlithe type Pokemon, or even your Zubat type Pokemon in these games. The most recent games, sorry, XY.
I personally feel that if you've got 722 Pokemon, maybe the game world needs to be 700 times bigger or something like that. I think having a Zubat cave and then a Zubat-like Pokemon cave. Maybe there should be 20 caves, and you know what I mean. Maybe they should bring it onto home consoles and just give us a massive world where they can all believably live in one giant, universe together.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's just not as believable, I guess, anymore. But yeah. Anyway, I think we've talked about Pokemon enough. I'm sure JP's eager to move on. So,
Speaking of,
man, I love your Pokemon talks. Keep on going on. Keep on going on. God.
Speaking of making things up, Nintendo this week announced 3 bundles for our upcoming Super Mario Maker, which will hit Wii U on September 12th. Now, the Super Mario Maker Wii U Premium Pack is $439.95. Comes with a game disc, like a physical copy of the game, a hardcover art book, and the classic colors Mario amiibo. The Super Mario Maker Limited Edition Pack, which is $89.95, comes with the hardcover art book and the classic colors Mario amiibo, along with the game disc. And you can also pick up the Super Mario Maker Standard Edition pack for $79.95, which just comes with the game disc and the art book. Those who want to pick up the eShop digital copy will be able to download a PDF version of the art book, so you won't be missing out.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Didn't know about that digital version of the art book. That's good.
It's a good step, I think, because people don't want to feel like I know that they don't want to bite retailers by, incentivizing digital downloads too much, but at the same time, there are times where I actually would prefer a digital copy of a game just for storage reasons, and it just ends up cheaper with a physical copy, and sometimes the benefits are a lot better.
So, are you interested in getting Super Mario Maker digitally cased?
No. I like the amiibo rewards. I like the booklet, and I like to sort of collect random bits of Super Mario games and merchandise. So it's a physical purchase for me.
Yeah.
But Captain Toad is a good example of a digital one that I did like and I thought was much more appropriate for that medium.
Yep.
Yeah. Originally,
go ahead.
Okay, one of you.
Okay, seeing as you were going first time, go ahead.
Oh, well, okay. No, I was just going to say that it's a tough choice for me because I like the convenience of not having to get up and change games. Sometimes you're playing Yoshi's Woolly World or something and you just suck at those unlockable levels. And so you rage quit in 2 seconds and you just want to quickly switch to something else.
That's me.
So that's cool. But then again, all the nice physical art books and stuff, it's hard to pass up.
Yeah. I'm the same boat as you, actually. I was going to go for the digital because it looks like a game you can just go back and forth to once in a while when you're bored and you don't really want to get up and change a disc. But yeah, the art book has kind of changed my way, and I might go for the standard edition because, to be honest,
the digital art book isn't good enough for you, JP. You have to have that physical art book still.
Yeah, the physical art book, it definitely looks a lot nicer. And if I get a PDF file, I mean, how am I really going to enjoy that? Oh, look at all the pretty pictures on my computer.
You go to your office laser printer and
I don't have a good printer.
Disclaimer, I don't do that at my work.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we all getting Super Mario Maker? Has anyone pre-ordered any of these bundles or anything?
Pre-order?
I'm going to pre-order it.
No one's pre-ordering? Okay.
I've still got to buy amiibos, mate.
Oh,
to be honest, the
On-
modern one looks better than the classic.
that's what I was going to mention, actually. I feel it's a bit disappointing that there's not a bundle that comes with that modern one as well as as another option. But I think maybe.
Well, the modern one comes out a bit later.
Oh, does it actually?
Yeah, so it
Yeah,
comes
it's
out
been
in.
confirmed.
Oh no, actually, scrub it. No, it comes out. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah.
That's
No,
I'm
someone
pretty
else
sure it comes
told
out.
while I actually research this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's coming out in October, is what I heard.
Oh, okay.
Sometime
So,
in October.
well, that's
Yeah,
weird though.
overseas, in Australia, it hasn't been announced when the modern one's coming out.
That's weird though, because like they both have functionality with the game. Do we know what that functionality is yet or not?
Yes,
Wasn't it
yes, we do.
the small sprite or whatever? The different kind of sprite?
Yeah, I thought that was using all your different other amiibo.
Yeah, I
so
thought that was-
it can make him grow bigger,
Oh yeah, that was
so like having a big mushroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so that's the same for each, whether it's classic or modern 8-bit Mario.
Yeah,
I think it's the same.
yeah. I'm not sure, but he's the character in the game might change. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah.
I think I still feel like it's on purpose though, bundling that classic one, because I think Nintendo know that everybody will want the modern one, but they'll just be like, oh well, I may as well get both because I can get this bundle. It's only like $10 more, and I get the classic Mario amiibo with it, and then I'll just get the modern one, and that comes out as well. And that's the boat I'm in at the moment. So
A fun fact, if you want to go check out the product page on the Australian website, it says the release date is January 1, 1970. So,
okay.
Yeah.
but just to make Amiibo even harder to find, you have to go back in time.
Oh
I
dear.
have to do that.
But, also on the Amiibo front, over 100 of those Animal Crossing cards have been announced.
Over
So-
100. I
Yeah,
thought it was
and
only
they-
like 10 or something. Wow.
No, they come in packs of 10, and they're random as well, so you're going to have to buy, like, a lot of packets to get them all.
Unless you get them all in one.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, I don't. Did you guys see the Rob amiibo at E3?
How it has like the Japanese version and then the English version. Yeah.
That's annoying, isn't it? For us
It is
hardcore
because the
collectors?
Japanese version is way better as well.
I don't think it is
That's-
annoying for us though, because we actually get a lot of Japanese amiibo stock here. So chances are Australia may be one of the few places where you can get both
Ooh.
Robs in the same store.
I don't
Well,
think we
because
will.
it, yeah. Mm,
Well,
I think
now
the
that
original
we
Japanese amiibo was just because that there was a stock shortage and they decided
Mm.
to move excess Japanese stock, and now they've kind of they've caught up, and I don't think they will have plans to do more.
Oh, so they're not
Yeah.
still doing Japanese stock. It's pure. So all those restocks we're getting, they're
No.
purely English, like Australian restock.
yeah,
Yeah,
I-
English EU.
Okay.
I've still seen a few Japan ones lying around though. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's still
The Japanese ones are just hanging there because people prefer. I think in general people prefer to get the English box art
Yeah.
where they have an option to.
yeah. What else?
I know we've
Anything
got
else we want to talk
someone say
about Mario
something.
Maker? Yeah.
There was a bit of a brouhaha when some retarded website said was complaining about Mario Maker's use of a model hand on the touchscreen. So basically, when you click on the screen, a little hand pops up holding stylus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anyway, he had this big feature article in Australian business. I don't know.
I gotta read this.
I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if anyone
parody.
saw that yet.
I think there was parody that arose from it, but I really didn't think it was serious.
Yeah, he was saying that he said, "Oh, it's all right for a white female to be playing the game, but what if you're a black male or a black girl or
Oh,
something?"
really? Is that what it's about?
But
What if you're a
it,
plumber wearing a glove?
it was it was later revealed. It was later revealed that you can actually change the hand. It's not set. There's even
Yeah.
there's even a cat hand.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
my issue isn't with what color the hand is or anything like that. My issue is with it actually being there. I know it's only on the TV screen. For people watching, you'll most likely be looking down at your gamepad, creating a level. But JP's getting a phone call. I can hear. Is that Stan Bush? Anyway, now I've lost my train of thought.
Anyway,
Never
just
forget the hand.
don't buy a game just because it has a hand in it. And if you're that concerned about your racial identity, maybe Mario Maker's not the game for you. I don't know.
I saw another site publish a article. It might have even been just this morning. I don't think it's worth a read. I haven't looked into it, but I'm just going to put it out there for people that may want to read it. It was on Polygon. So I'm naming Polygon, and it was Super Mario Maker is everything wrong with Wii U, or it was something like the example of Wii U's failure. So there you go. Super Mario Maker is a celebration of Wii U's biggest failure.
Huh? Oh, feast.
Clickbait.
Well,
Yeah, clickbait.
yeah.
We need to slap JP into another room.
Yeah, we do.
$1 what?
$10 what?
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 Sorry.
You will
Okay,
be.
presents.
Okay, he's not talking to us.
Anyway,
Moving on.
on.
Speaking of things not talking to us, Project Cars has been dumped for Wii U.
Okay.
The developer basically saying that the console is not up to scratch for the game. The game's too powerful for the console.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Had
That's
a phone
alright.
call.
It's alright, JP.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ty, you were saying Project Cars been dumped.
Project Cars, the game about cars and projects or something, is no longer coming to Wii U because the console isn't powerful enough, according to the developers.
Did you know the Cars in Project Cars is actually an acronym? I can't remember what it is, but it's like it's not just called Project Cars because it's a Cars game. I can't remember what it is, but I thought that was funny. Anyway, yeah, what do you guys think about Project Cars not coming to Wii U, even though it was basically promised in the Kickstarter that it was going to come to Wii U? Ty, you said you were even certain that Wii U was the original platform, and then it was later announced for the others.
Yeah, I mean, someone will correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure, back in the day, they was saying yeah, we're making this game for Wii U and PC. And then it was announced for the other consoles.
I feel like you might be right because I'm sure of a few of another Castle people. Inferno was actually one of them that was following the game for its Wii U release. So,
so the question is, all those people who backed it on Kickstarter to get it on Wii U, do they get their money back?
That is the question.
It's an interesting precedent. I don't know if anyone has challenged a Kickstarter on that because I think that they don't have any leg to stand on. Because if a Kickstarter fails, well, at least they'll just say, well, we tried, and probably in the terms and conditions of being a backer, you don't necessarily get promised a finished game.
I think what might be a big factor in whether they can actually get their money back or not is that the developer hasn't just said, we're not doing the Wii U version, it's not going to happen. They've said they are waiting for Nintendo's next hardware, most likely NX, to have a crack. So
yeah, but we heard that 1,000 times back on Wii. Developers games like Call of Duty and stuff, they're always saying, we'll wait for Wii U, the next Nintendo console, and then we'll make a decision, or that kind of stuff was going on. And then it came out, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, you know what? That game we said we might bring to Wii U, it's 3 years old now, and we don't care about it." So I think if there's a Project Cars 2, maybe on NX, but otherwise, just probably give up on this one.
Okay, let's go.
JP, are you with us?
Almost for a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm going to be gone in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't really care about Project Cars, so I thought, and when I played it at Bandai Namco, I wasn't that impressed.
Oh, that's right. You did get to play it, didn't you? And what platform did you play it on?
I didn't like it. I played it on PS4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't really like it, so I don't really care about this, but... Yeah,
Okay, JP.
But I can understand why people would be so upset and stuff like that, and... Yeah, I could see this coming. I mean, a lot of people have been dumping Nintendo and saying, "Oh, they're not good enough. They're not good enough." So,
yeah,
I could always see this coming, and it's sad, but it's true. I mean, Wii U's an awesome console, but it's not that powerful compared to the other two, and that's one of the reasons why it's losing its momentum a lot of the times.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on the developer's vision as well. Like, obviously, it's a nice looking game. And I think that they could easily put it on Wii U if they wanted to, but I think they're probably just stubborn because they would like it to look as nice as it looks on the other ones, other consoles, that is. And yeah, that's their choice. It's going to make a few people mad. I don't think that they will release it on NX, even if it is up to scratch, because I don't know that there'd be a lot of people who would be willing to, like Nintendo. Loyalists, or call it whoever you want, that are just going to say, okay, well, now I'm ready for it after years and years and the previous history, etc.
They did announce last month that a sequel's in the works, so
yeah, I'm pretty sure that announcement came like only a week after the first game's launch. I could be wrong. It came really, really quickly. Nobody expected it,
and they're putting it up on Kickstarter as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily believe in. Like, Kickstarter shouldn't be a platform for anyone to just get free money. It should be, we kickstarted your company, go nuts, and then come up with a business plan and get money and then go, start making profit. It shouldn't just be, all right, we want to do this and can we have more money? That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, they should have definitely not... Like, even if they've got the ideas in their head for a sequel and they really just want to jump into it, they should wait to see how the first game does first. You can't just announce a sequel when you're not even sure on the complete reception of the first game.
Yeah, and that's another good point. Like, if they can't get it working on Wii U, is that because the game isn't... Like, is that because the game is too good? Or is it because their skills as developers... maybe aren't that advanced,
Ooh, shots fired.
Well, yeah. So, my point being is, should they be looking for a publisher rather than a Kickstarter campaign,
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe Bandai Namco, who are distributing the game, maybe they can come in and, bring in some developers and, get it working for the next game.
Oh, we've lost JP, so he's unfortunately had to leave us tonight. But we shouldn't be going too much longer anyway. On the subject of Kickstarter, I just want to quickly make a note. But while we're talking about Kickstarter, anyone that backed Yooka-Laylee, which was the Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor that's coming in however many years, anyone that backed that, you can now, if you check your email, you can pick your platform of choice that you want your digital copy of, if you pledged for a digital console copy. And you can even up your pledge. There's a couple above whatever you've pledged that you can pick from. So yeah.
Yeah, I got that email and I submitted my thing. I think I've still got a Steam version. So I did the absolute minimum, like a cheapskate, but kind of looking forward to it. Maybe it would have been nice on Wii U, but I'm not going to die if I play it on PC.
I've gone with the Wii U version. I have faith in Rare. Well, X-Rare. Anyway. Okay, so we'll get into our last big story. I personally don't want to spend too much time on this, but I know Ty and Case both have a decent amount to say on this. So earlier this week, a story came out about EB Games, specifically employees and their experiences with EB, unfair treatment, and even in some cases there was racism, homophobia, even alleged rape. These were some stories that were gathered, put together in a pretty well-written article, I should say, by Mark Serrels from Kotaku, Australia. So the biggest thing that came out of this story was that EB Games is sort of a dream job for gamers, really.
I have no idea why, but it really is, especially for the younger gamers, I think.
Yeah, but it's sort of like shed some light on the realities of it. That is such a it's a harsh business in that, like, if you're not performing, you can easily be replaced just like that. The other things that came out of this story were that EB Games doesn't have a HR what's the word? Department, yeah. HR department. So that's a very big issue. And they were saying like they had some sort of line they could contact anonymously, but it was sort of like a running joke. Nobody took it seriously. So, and we should note that these were just, I think it was 4 instances. Was it 4 people? So it's not all bad news for working at EB. These are 4 really bad experiences, and they may
alleged experiences too. I mean, I think that should be pretty clear from the outset, though it's concerning to hear about it. At this stage, I think one of the complaints is subject to a Fair Work Ombudsman or Fair Work Australia complaint. So
yeah,
that's we'll see where that goes.
So I guess the question is, how do you guys feel about this? What was your reaction to hearing about these stories, and do you has your what's the word? I'm really bad with my words tonight.
Consumer confidence.
Consumer
Well,
confidence.
not consumer confidence, but like your brand loyalty, something like that.
Yeah, how do you feel about EB after hearing some of these stories? Has that changed?
I was personally kind of disappointed to hear about it. I thought the article was very sensationalist, so I take it with a pinch of salt or whatever. It's one of those things where I can, I guess on face value, believe some of the claims that are there. It's interesting that there is an alleged investigation into the matter through Fair Work Australia, and that the story's out. So it would suggest to me that in some way, the complainants have to Kotaku about the matter. So, I mean, if it was me personally,
yeah,
I would not be talking to any media while there's an investigation going. I would just shut my mouth and let it happen. Because at the end of the day, a finding from Fair Work Australia or otherwise, or an employee ombudsman for whichever state you live in, is going to have a lot more weight than just going leaking to the media. That said, I mean, if any of a number of these things have any sort of merit, they're very concerning. Actually, while we were talking about various other things tonight, I was talking to Dylan, otherwise known as Reno, the site's founder, because I knew he was an ex-employee of EB Games, and I just thought I'd run the article by him and said, hey, what do you think about this? He basically, when he read it, he basically said that he agrees on some of the things. He thought that EB hours do suck. Says you do a lot of hours unpaid. He brags somewhat in saying that he was the KPI kingpin at his EV, 6 weeks highest KPI in a row. Well done, Dylan. That just meant he got more shifts. But in his words, welcome to retail. So he thinks that he's pretty sure any other retail store would be similar. I would suggest probably not with unpaid work. I mean, if people aren't getting paid for hours they're doing, that's a serious concern, especially if they're on hourly. If they're salary, then that's another story. But at the end of the day, I think that he's echoing some of what's being said.
Ty, your thoughts?
Yeah, okay, so a bit of background. I have worked in the retail industry my entire working career, so going on 15 years now.
Wow.
Now, anything to do with harassment and, things like rape and sexual assault and any of that's completely, it's not on in any form. Bullying as well, it's unfortunate that these cases have been brought up, and I do feel for the people who are saying that they went through that. But I think those are isolated incidences. I don't think EB Games has a policy to, bully and harass their staff. Having said that, I can give you horror stories. I worked in Hungry Jack's down in Melbourne, and one day, I guess if you can call it one day, I worked a 28-hour shift for no other reason other than that the shopping centre, Southland, for those playing along at home, was doing a special open. They had a 24-hour shop. They couldn't find anyone else to work, and I needed the money, and they just had me on for 28 hours.
Yep.
When I was store manager at a Hungry Jack's up in New South Wales, there was the huge flood going on, and we had the SES come in and say, you guys need to go because any minute now the river that was across the road from us will burst and you'll be underwater and you'll probably all be dead. So when I called my bosses about the fact that we were closing the shop early, their reaction was pretty much, well, first of all, no, you're not allowed. And then secondly, well, if you have to send everyone home, you yourself have to get in your car, drive up the freeway for 2 hours and work at some other store, which was also having weather problems.
What?
They're massive.
Can I just take you back? Did you say you worked 28 hours essentially straight?
Yeah.
Any breaks?
I was young and stupid.
This is insane.
I got to a point where it wasn't any formal breaks, but I was just kind of it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, screw this, I'm going to eat something,
Yeah.
Yep.
But in that particular instance, it was sort of fun. It was kind of let's see how long we can work.
Yeah.
Sort of
But
thing.
you still got paid for all of those hours, right?
Well, I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure I did. I would not have gotten overtime, but I would have gotten paid.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, kids, working 28 hours is not fun.
No.
You should
No.
it's a very big OHS risk, especially in front of hot oil.
Oh,
and
definitely, yeah,
sorts of
hot
things.
water, hot stuff. At one point I thought it was a hummingbird of some kind, but and when I was store manager at Dick Smith, it was 101. Even the managers, for example, if the alarm goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning, you have to go to the shop and turn it off. That's just part of your job. My point here is that retail is not a fun career at all. It sucks. It really does. And there are times when they're like, hey, we have a midnight opening or whatever. Can you work? If you say yes, then you have to work. They rely on you to go to work. And if you don't show up, even though it's a special one-off midnight launch, then, they'll be ringing your phone and they'll be, getting you in trouble because to to them, and when I say them, management, upper management, whatever, they're running a business. To you, especially the younger kids, the younger employees tend to not see work as work. They sort of see it as an extension of the schoolyard. So anyway, my point is that
I think like in those cases that it wasn't that they were being asked to do those midnight launches or anything, and then they say yes, and then obviously they're expected to show up, and if they can't do it, then their hours get cut. It wasn't like that at all. It was that they were actually just being told that they had to come in for a midnight launch, not whether they could or not didn't
Not
concern.
get paid.
And yeah, they weren't getting paid for coming for midnight launches, but if they didn't go in, then your hours could get cut.
yeah,
So that's
it's tough because
it's a bizarre
the-
thing though. Like I wouldn't expect that from
this-
any retailer.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem that bizarre to me. Like, I know it's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, and I kind of honestly don't believe that they wouldn't have gotten paid. Maybe if one store forgot to do the timesheets properly, because another thing that people probably don't understand from the outside is that, and I know this sounds like a dodgy excuse, but the computer systems in most retailers, I don't know about EB Games, but I know it's true for Hungry Jack's, Krispy Kreme, I know it's true for Dick Smith, and anywhere else I've ever worked, is that at midnight, the computers shut down and restart in the sense that a new day starts. So anything that happens between midnight and 1 a.m., or let's say 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., is 2 different days according to most retail's systems.
Yep.
So for my point here is that from a manager's point of view, it's a very tricky thing to log. Just in terms of timesheets and rosters and that kind of thing. So I can definitely understand how in some cases some people might have accidentally not gotten paid, but I can't imagine if you went up and said, excuse me, I didn't get paid for this work. I can't imagine them just saying, well, so sad, too bad, go home. The other thing is,
well, they would be too afraid to go up and say, I didn't get paid for this.
yeah, and if that's the case, then that really does suck. Like,
yeah,
they've got a lot of culture problems at EB Games. But my point is that retail, like even EB Games, even Macca's, anything like that, it might look fun, but it's a business. It needs to work, and mistakes happen. I don't really know what's going on, but I can certainly see a lot of the complaints seem to be from disgruntled employees rather than, a company policy to make it a crappy place to work. But I don't know. I mean, just anyone who wants to get a job in retail, just remember that it's very much, they value hard work, and if you're not willing to put in the hard work, you won't be valued as an employee, and that's just the harsh reality of it.
It is really competitive.
Yeah, the profits aren't there in a lot of these companies, especially like EB Games. They open in Westfield. The rent is like massive compared to how much money they actually make in the till. So if you as an employee aren't willing to make money for the store, then they sort of go, well, who else can we put on? But it's, my overall point here is that it sucks. It's meant to suck. If it sucks beyond the point that it feels illegal, then it probably is, and there are proper channels to go to complain. And Kotaku, unfortunately, is not one of those channels. Do it right, or you'll just make it harder on yourself.
Fair point, Ty. I don't think I can really disagree with any of that.
The switchboards are lighting up, but we must move on.
Yeah, anyway, moving on. So we've got through our big topics for the week. We've got some little bits and bobs at the end that we'll shoot through in a minute. But Ty, you wanted to take the time, just take a time out between our big news and our little news, and put a question to both, me and Case, or anyone else that's actually in our stream at the time, and also our listeners. So, what's your question for this week?
Okay, the other day I was stuffing my video game shelves full of the new amiibo that came out, and as I'm running out of room in my apartment, I realized that a lot of these games I haven't actually finished. And looking through the big stack of them, I was thinking, well, what are the excuses that I've come up with? And I was wondering, what are some of the excuses you make for not finishing games?
There's a lot.
If I can start,
go ahead.
working a full-time job is just really, for me, makes me be very selective about what games I'd like to play. And I was having a conversation with my roommate the other night about how certain games can be a little bit more time-consuming than others, and those are usually the ones I really like. Monster Hunter. I had a really long Dota 2 stage. I play a lot of Smash Brothers. And unfortunately, it's that when I'm playing a lot of time into one game and I'm working, I start to accumulate games that I'd like to play and that I kind of will play the start of it, but then I just don't really get around to finish. So that's kind of stopping me from, for example, Splatoon. I would love to play it. I kind of made a decision that, look, I was really busy with a lot of other games and there was a patch that was coming out later, and so I just deferred.
So those first two excuses that Case mentioned, work and sorry, I've forgotten the other. Oh, gameplay, like length of games.
Yes.
Yeah, those two are ones that I like to use from time to time, even though I clearly can't use them because I don't work full time, and I actually don't really like games that go very long. But I still like to say that I've had work, I haven't had time to play this, and then I'll still say, oh yeah, I've got through some of the game. It's just kind of long, and it's actually not that long at all. So those excuses I use a lot of excuses. The most common one is money, actually, for not finishing games.
So not picking them up in the first place?
Yes, not picking them up in the first place, but also I'm a really bad impulse buyer. So unlike Case, where he strategically decided I won't get Splatoon yet because there's this update coming and I've got this to play, I'm just gonna I'll just grab Splatoon even though I don't have time to play it. I would just grab it. So
it's funny because then the guilt sets in. Like you buy Splatoon, you play it for a while, and then for some reason you don't pick it up. Not because you don't like it, but because life gets in the way, and then something else comes out, and you go ahead and buy that, and the vicious cycle continues.
I think that Amiibo have been quite good from the sense that, since I'm working full time, I'm reasonably financially stable, so I can make a lot of, I have choices in what I get. But the Amiibo has been a bit of a problematic. I've been getting a lot of them in a very short time, and there's a lot of satisfaction because I don't feel when I buy them that I'm missing out on not finishing the game because I have this game-related thing which I'm engaged with and I'm interested in, but it's a finished product there and then, and I can just sink money into that, and it's a little bit dangerous.
I can relate to that.
Are there any games that you've picked up and you're so woefully bad at them but don't want to admit it, so you just never play it again?
I'm sure there's some.
I've never really been. I very rarely get super disappointed in a game. I think sometimes my interest wanes in them. Like I'll start. I think Pikmin 3 was a good example. I never got around to finishing that, and I really tried hard to getting around to finishing it. But I played through a good amount of the maybe about half of the game, and then it just slowly dropped off as I started to do other things.
My other thing, we should move on. But my other thing, which isn't so much of an excuse, it's just like it's almost a legit reason, is that I'm sure you disagree with me on this, but when the hype is gone for the game, that sort of sometimes kills it for me. Like if too much time has passed and no one's talking about it, then while I'm playing through the game, I have no one to talk to about it really. Or if I try to talk to someone about it, they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, that old game. I finished that ages ago." So that's sort of my big thing of not finishing games actually that I can think of.
So that maybe like a social aspect to
Yeah,
it.
the social aspect. Yep.
Yeah,
Get on the hype
interesting,
train, all
interesting.
aboard.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what some of the listeners, if they've come up with excuses for not finishing a game. It'd be interesting to hear, I think.
Yep. So if any listeners would like to answer Ty's question for the week, just hop on the YouTube comments and let us know, and then I'm sure Ty will get back to you next week. He loves replying to comments, so
Or even
yeah,
better,
well,
just also, yeah. Never mind.
what was that?
You're
I was gonna
about
say,
to give
or
them
even
my
better, you
phone
can just
number or
comment
something.
on Moot or on the AC forums or
Oh yeah.
Aussie Gamer, wherever.
Yeah. We haven't even been putting these on Aussie Gamer, Ty. You should do that. Why not?
Yes.
They're-
Well,
it's a collaboration.
I've been busy
You
not
go-
playing games.
Moving on.
Okay.
There are big things coming, but yeah, let's move on. Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs for the week. First thing, Star Wars Battlefront will be playable first on Xbox One via EA Access for people that actually pay for EA Access. I don't know any of those people. I don't know if those people actually exist, but if they do, then good on them. They get to play Star Wars first. Who wants to go for the next one?
Hatterful Boyfriend, the game where you set pigeons up and I don't know. It's
Dating
a
sim.
bird game. It's a dating sim, but with birds instead of people.
Oh, do you
But I
actually
think
do you actually set
I
up
think-
pigeons with other pigeons? I thought
No,
you actually dated a
you-
pigeon.
I think you're still a human, but
Yeah.
you date pigeons.
Okay.
It's coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita. It's been confirmed. Be
It
on the
looks
lookout
great.
for that. Mm.
Case, you want to grab the next one? Skip.
Right after that,
Something.
we've got, of course, the 3 new amiibo coming today. From today.
That was actually
Although
yesterday.
I did see
Sorry.
them yesterday.
Yeah.
Bowser Jr.,
Yeah,
Dr. Mike, and Olimar. So I was walking on my lunch break. I saw them in Target and also in Shin Tokyo, which is like an anime video games based store in Adelaide as well. So yeah, look out for those on the shelves. I get the feeling with the last couple of waves that stock won't be an issue, but hey, let's not let that get in the way of the amiibo hype.
Yeah, some amiibo
Well-
have definitely been getting restocks. Shulk, I think, was the most recent one. And there are a couple of others as well, so they are coming.
I've been into a few Target and Big W's this week just from my job, and it looks like Dr. Mario is like either the least popular or most abundant one. So the Bowser Jr. and Olimar are selling out pretty quickly. So you might want to pick it up if you see them.
I wouldn't be
Has
surprised.
either of you seen Sheik on the shelves? Because that was announced. I went into Target and they had only 3 of them in the Target that I went to in the Adelaide CBD, and I've not seen them anywhere on any shelves since.
Oh wow.
Yep, I saw a couple. I was out at Chatswood in Sydney this morning, so there was some out there. So, yeah. So they're around. You just got to keep your eyes peeled.
Is it possible
Go
to just on maybe some of those restocks not showing up in some stores, particularly EB? Can people actually? It's not really a pre-order, but like sort of put their name down for when those amiibo become restocked, or I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, they don't really like you doing that, so I wouldn't use that as a plan. I think ages ago.
Oh, I wasn't going to say it was a plan. I was just going to say maybe that's where they're all disappearing to. All these people.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah, I don't know. I was at one Target once and I asked for them to put some aside. They put my name in their book, but when I went back in, they sort of pretended they didn't know what I was talking about. So I don't know. Just best thing is just take a day off work and show up at 9 a.m. On release day, and you'll get them. But for those collecting, some amiibo are still getting restocked. like Shulk and, as we mentioned, Sheik, and some of the older ones, Marth and a few others, reappearing in Australia. They've also got a new display set up where you can tap Amiibo on Mario and he does cool things in certain shops, so keep a look out for that.
And just our last news story for the week. We did touch on this last week. I think we accidentally confirmed it when it wasn't confirmed. It was just speculated. But Devil's Third is definitely being published by Nintendo of America. But the more interesting thing that came out this week is that the developer, Itagaki, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, he has blamed negative Devil's Third previews. There are actually a few negative previews out there, quite a few. He's blamed them on player skill, basically saying, get good. So what's your thoughts on that, guys? Are you, do you agree with some of the previews of Devil's Third?
One thing, I think it was IGN or something, probably Polygon, they were complaining about the developer said for multiplayer at the moment, instead of using the gamepad, use a classic controller and a keyboard that you can plug it into your Wii U. And they all sort of ran that as evidence that the game is going to be really crap, and the game can't even handle the Wii U gamepad at the moment. I thought it was a weird thing because generally speaking, did we talk about this last week? I'm having major deja vu, but anyway, generally speaking, preview code can be very, very early copies of the game, like from way before they've finished even debugging. So who knows when the build was made, but these previews might be based off a really early version of the code. I mean, the game isn't out yet, or maybe it has released in Japan, has it? Well, anyway,
I think the mechanics should be reasonably established, though. I mean, I haven't played the Devil's series, but I think that it would probably be reasonably established as to how the gameplay pans out.
Some of the complaints were more technical, like frame rate and that kind of stuff. Like, there's no point complaining about that in a preview. If you've ever been to somewhere like PAX or EB Expo or E3, you play 3 minutes of a game and it just crashes, and they open up the cabinet and try to fix it up and stuff. It's just the nature of preview code. That's why these games don't come out 3 years earlier. They're not finished,
Yeah.
So to complain about bugs that can be finished easily, before launch or shortly after launch or on a day one update or something like that, I think that's poor form and kind of weird that they're even complaining about it.
Well, I don't think anyone's expecting great things from Devil's Third. I think most of the appeal comes from that it's not the kind of game you'd expect to see on Wii U. But a lot of people, myself included, just sort of like those mindless fun games. I mean, it's sort of, I don't know if people would agree on me on this, but it sort of has that vibe to games like Lollipop Chainsaw, where it's just, it's just more funny than anything. Like, it's just so random that it's funny and it's fun.
Maybe that they've taken it a bit too seriously when it's not meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point to take away.
But it's funny because a game like that, if it launched on PS4, it would come out.
It would be taken seriously.
Well, no one would care. Like, it would come out. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But because it's on Wii U, it's scrutinized a lot more,
attracting more attention.
Yeah, and I guess it's been in development for quite a long time, so that also.
Any other news you guys saw this week? Actually, one quick other thing that I just remembered now. Life is Strange Episode 4 comes out next Tuesday. For those that play Life is Strange. I play Life is Strange. I think it's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And any other news, Case? Do you see any other news this
I
week?
have nothing else. I was at AvCon last weekend. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Shout outs to the Team Cherry, Hollow Knight team that got to play the first demo of it, which was really good. And I got knocked out very early in the Smash Brothers tournament thanks to best of one single elimination
Ooh.
ruthlessness.
That's rough. Ty?
Surprise Attack Games and Archibid have released a early access version of Dungeon League, which is a dungeon crawler, out on Steam in the Humble store. So go check that out. It looks kind of cool.
I believe that was at PAX last year, though I didn't get a chance to play it. I could be wrong on that.
Well, I got the press release this morning. So. Yeah, the game I think was at PAX last year, but there's an early access out now, so
Yep.
It's coming out next year.
All right, guys. I think we'll leave it at that. Thanks for a quick, or reasonably quick newscast. Actually, it's probably the same length as the others, but anyway.
We only lost one member this time around.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Case. Good to have you on. Hopefully you can join us next week. For all our listeners, we'll be back probably same time next week. Maybe a different day, but we'll let you know via social media as we do. Yeah, thanks for listening. See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.